tortellini till I throw up.
So clearly we are all very sleep deprived and food deprived.
Yes.
We are caffeinated. They heard us.
So we made it to Bologna. We are super excited to see this city. We heard a lot of great things about it. And really interesting, during the time of communism, during the Cold War basically, this was a city that was used as an example for like socialist practice. So apparently like the bus system here is supposed to be like really superior and everything. So excited to just kind of get a vibe for the city. So far it looks like definitely more modernized than Verona, but we haven't been to the old town yet, like the old center of the city. Right now we're gonna go get lunch though because we are starving. Hello everyone, we just had a really delicious lunch at a place called Tigralia 51. I will put it in like the comment section so you can see the spelling of it, but it was absolutely delicious. It was filled with locals. It was inside, outside, it was totally full, which is always a good sign, especially when they're locals and not tourists. And it was absolutely delicious. The meatballs I wouldn't recommend necessarily. They tasted a little like Chef Boyardee, but they were like obviously better than that. But the tortellini was amazing, the potatoes were amazing, the bread was amazing. So overall, very delicious. Honestly, there's just a lot of really good options here. The biggest problem we're finding in Bologna is, since it is like a food capital of the world, a lot of the restaurants are full. Like we had a few recommendations coming in, and when we called, first of all, it's not very touristy, so everyone speaks very, very limited English. So it could be a little hard to book reservations, and in person, it's full. The restaurants are tiny and they're all like full. So finding reservations has been very difficult. So I would recommend pre-planning that so that way you get here and it's all set in stone already for you, because it has been a little hard finding places to eat, but the food is really good. So right now we're headed to the tower, right over there. But we just got our first real glimpse of the tower we are about to climb, and it is massive, so I'm definitely putting on my knee braces for this journey. Ooh, street music. How are you feeling?
We're doing it. I'm gonna face plant.
You guys are doing great, I'm proud.
Okay.
The steps are gone.
These steps are not really steps.
So we made it to the top of the tower. It is absolutely stunning. It's 500 steps. Don't even know how many like stories that is. I will find out for you guys though. But it was so worth it. The steps were steep, a little sketchy. They had lots of places for you to take a break though. They even had attendants and first aid kits. Going down is gonna be really hard with the knees, but 100% worth the view. Highly, highly recommend. Couldn't recommend it more. And now of course, a fun little photo shoot. So we did it. We went up and down.
Yes, we did.
That insane, absolutely insane tower. So the real question is, was it worth it?
Yes, 100% do it. Going down is worse than going up.
I thought it was fine.
It's not that bad. It's definitely worth it though.
Personally, going up was not bad. Going down was very difficult. If you have vertigo, nausea, etc., it might be a challenge for you. Or asthma. Asthma will be very difficult. But like there are a lot of places where you can stop, catch your breath, wait, take it slow. It's definitely worth it. Just warning, like bring water with you and don't be afraid to take breaks. I went down super slowly because of my knees, but I'm very glad I did it. It was very worthwhile. Highly recommend. And we're right across from cute shops.
Look at this view.
We did pass quite a few street performers, also street artists. Absolutely amazing. So far this city is really, really cool. I don't know about you guys, but it's not what I was expecting at all. No. It's better though.
It's way more like modern than I thought it would be.
It's younger.
Yes.
It's gonna be older.
Yeah, me too.
It's a young crowd. One of my favorite things about cities is finding street artists, and they're really common on the weekends especially. We just found a really cool jeweler. He made me a ring in front of me so it would fit perfectly with the stone I wanted. Really cool. Jen also got one. If you're ever in a city and you see street artists, go up to them, talk to them, get to know them. It's really cool to like hear what they like, and just also you can find really cool ones. So behind me is a protest, and they're protesting the Green Pass, which is basically the equivalent of showing your CDC card to get into a restaurant. We're not going to go into that because we don't want to make things political, but I just wanted to show it to show you how different the protests in Italy are, and in Europe in general, than in the United States. Not to like go into the like what they're protesting, but their activity of it is very peaceful and very different than
people don't. There's no like tension. Like it doesn't feel like it could get potentially crazy.
Yeah, so like Jen just said, you could easily confuse it for a concert. In Verona, we confused it for like a picnic, like potluck kind of vibe. So basically, I just wanted to point it out because they're doing what protests originally were, like to take up space basically, to like draw attention, and that's ultimately what they're doing, regardless of what they're protesting.
And then there's America.
And then there's America, where our protests involve. Again, we're not going to get into that, but you guys know what I'm alluding to. I just wanted to show you an
Amazing pumpkin tortellini. 1,000 out of 10. The flavors are melting in my mouth.
Jenny, what is the place called and how did you find it?
It's called Naldi, Pasta Fresca Naldi. And one of our schoolmates recommended it to her, and it's this little like, this random little spot near all these other restaurants in this cute little bar.
So good. That was absolutely amazing. The best tortellini pasta we've had in Bologna. It was the only one Jen had. Absolutely amazing. Highly recommend. Just goes to show if there's a line of locals outside of a place, always stop and try that food.
Even if it's
Great lunch.
cold.
Even if it's cold.
Yes.
And the beer is cold.
And the beer is cold, but it's worth it. Something else I wanted to mention really quick about Bologna that I've noticed that we all have noticed is that it's so much more accessible than Rome. Rome, it would be so challenging to get around with a wheelchair, a walker, any sort of mobility device. While here the streets are flat, and when they're not flat and there is a step up, there actually is a way for you to get onto that step. While in Rome, not so much. So definitely more accessible. Yeah, it's also less hilly, so definitely more accessible than Rome, which is really important to consider when you're traveling. So one of my favorite parts about any European city is you can just walk around and find beautiful basilicas to walk into. Normally they're free to enter, sometimes they ask for a small donation, but if you find one, I highly recommend just walking through. It doesn't necessarily take that long, and the architecture is just absolutely phenomenal. And you can find really big hidden gems. Obviously there's massive ones like the one behind me that are like really big tourist destinations to go to and to explore, but also little ones on the street can be some of the most beautiful ones that you can find. Behind me, you can see that some of these little nooks and crannies are empty. They were built for the purpose of holding a statue, but normally basically they underestimate their budget or their costs, so then they don't have enough budget to build the statues on the outside. So if you're ever seeing these empty little spaces, they were built for the purpose of putting statues, but they ran out of money and couldn't build them. Okay, guys, final thoughts on the city.
I mean,
beautiful.
can you hear the street performer? Probably, hopefully.
It's quite
It's
wonderful.
fun, it's young. It's way different than I thought it would be,
Yeah,
in a good
it's very
way.
live.
It is so much cleaner than Rome, and yes, it's very young, very different. It is, obviously there are these medieval aspects.
City.
Jen still very much likes Verona. Totally different energy though. This is a very young city, filled with life, shopping, everything you could want in a city, as well as like the antiquity and the history. It's all here. Also today, what were we looking at? The
Porticos.
The porticos. The porticos are a major architectural like point that people come to the city to see, and they were really cool.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, literally everywhere.
Yeah. But overall, 10 out of 10. Would highly recommend Bologna.
Great shopping, even better food,
Good music.
Good bar.
Good vibes. here.
general safe feel.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel like in Rome where you're just like fighting for your life on every corner.
So yeah, the big things when you go to our city is it's safe, public transit is clean, so safety felt very safe, very clean city. The public transit here is supposed to be absolutely amazing. It looked very organized, but it's so walkable that you don't even need to use the public transit. We even walk.
Hi guys, Bologna is amazing.
city.
Nice trip.
Are you locals?
Nationality?
No, we are not
Americans.
locals.
Where are you
we are
from?
from Sicily.
Sicily.
So coast, summer, sea, and so on.
Yeah.
So should we go to Sicily next?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, yes. When you are in
where
Sicily.
are you from? America.
Oh.
Beautiful America. Where? The city.
You couldn't really see them. In the
I couldn't see them that.
Celine, and you were just like.
Well, I'm trying to look into the camera and not at myself, so I.
That's fair.
Couldn't
Sorry,
see
we're
it.
not vlogging professionals.
But as you can tell, people here are really friendly, both the locals and there's also even the tourists here are still Italians.
Italian tourists, I
Yeah,
know.
and they're just, it's so different because they're all just so
Like
friendly.
one person speaking like American English on the street. Yeah.
Right. I guess it's time
It's
right
not, which makes it, and it's just not a tourist destination, but it's a really beautiful place to see Italy, get amazing food, basically everything you want in Italy they have here, and it's less crowded, less touristy. Highly recommend, and well, that's it. Thanks for joining us on our journey to Bologna.
Andiamo.
We'll see you in, what is it, where are we going?
Berlin.
In
Berlin! Oh, maybe
Tivoli.
Tivoli, maybe Orvieto. We have a few trips. We'll see, but we will see you all soon.
Ciao.
Ciao. Arrivederci.